work. So as we know from our FFA experiences as officers or as members in the past, there's a lot of moving parts in FFA. And one of the things that we want to strive to do is utilize different committees to be kind of the feet and hands of our organization to help get business done. This is something that we did not do super effectively last year because we just kind of had the pandemic kind of come on us and some other things. But this is something that you guys as an officer team mentioned that you wanted to prioritize this year, and hopefully future teams that are watching this recognize the value of having committees. So committees essentially are when we delegate work to a smaller group. As officers, we don't have to do everything ourselves, and it's important to recognize that there are plenty of members in our program. We have over 50 members in our school that want to be involved in helping plan the banquet or helping plan our AGED to go activities or our Zoom industry visits. And some of these new events that we're coming up with this year, they want to be involved in that planning process as well. So some examples of different committees that we can have are banquet committees. We could have an egg literacy committee. We could have a committee that focuses on recruitment and retention of members. The options are seriously limitless. And we want to make sure, though, that we put members where their strengths and interests lie as well. So if Billy Bob Jr. really is interested in talking about beef cattle, and he wants to focus on creating some agricultural literacy events or something like that tied to beef cattle, that's probably where we should put him. We should put him people with like-minded goals and interests, because that's where he's going to accomplish the most. We shouldn't probably be putting him on a banquet committee. So putting members where their interest lies is really important for this. So the structure of a committee is generally 4 to 6 members plus a committee chair, and that committee chair then takes notes on what's accomplished and reports to the vice president. The vice president's role is to oversee all of the committees of our FFA chapter. So depending on the committee, meeting frequency can vary depending on month to month or week to week. And especially leading up to a big event, they might be needing to meet a little bit more frequently. Like we're not going to have to meet every day in September to plan our FFA banquet in March, but maybe the week before our FFA banquet, that committee is going to be divided into groups such as decorations or programs and things like that. They're going to need to meet every day or every other day leading up to that banquet for those couple weeks up to it. Some ideas that we have for utilizing committees, though, when I was an FFA at Forest Lake, something that they did really well is we would have our committee meetings actually happen right before our normal chapter meetings. And that was nice because then everybody was there and we could use that 10 to 15 minute breakout time before the big large group chapter meeting to kind of touch base and figure out what needs to be accomplished before our event, and also perhaps set additional meeting dates before our next whole chapter meeting. So it was kind of a nice way just to touch base and make sure that everybody who was in FFA was present there, or as many people as possible, and then utilize that time to kind of break off into smaller tasks and report back at the next meeting or set up a new meeting before our next monthly chapter meeting. So more to come on this as we plan our events. I know as we get close to this fall, some of these events we're probably not going to be able to hand off to a committee, considering our first meeting is until the end of September. But hopefully as we get towards November, December, January, some of these other things can be delegated towards committees, and we can utilize our time as officers to provide more leadership experiences for the chapter rather than planning the nitty-gritties of all the different events, and utilize our active members who are passionate and excited to work on these different committees that meet their skills. So thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions.